wish you couldn't have burned.
You kidding? How's it going, guys? So this video is gonna be about my my ibis ripmo. It's a 2022 ibis ripmo AF deore. It's an alloy. It's a large. It's got a 29-inch wheels. High profile wheels. They're very burly wheels, and they're very like knobby. So it's got a lot of rolling resistance. However, I just want to let you know, by the way, before I even like start telling you why I want to keep my ibis ripmo and why I want to sell my 2019 Stumpy comp, is because this bike, it's incredibly freaking fast. It's just so stupid fast that it's almost dangerous. Okay, and I kind of like it that way. All right, so in my humble, worthless opinion, why is this bike so fast? Is because it's a little bit heavier. I think it's like 2 more pounds or maybe 2.5 more pounds more heavier than this bike. And the reason why, it's, well, the fork is not even air, it's a coil fork, which in my humble opinion, I mean, for me, it works just fine. It's 36 millimeter stanchions, by the way. I mean, the fork is so freaking strong, which makes it heavier. I guess the size, well, it's a large. That's a large too, but I guess the size of the wheels, the hubs, the rims may make it a little bit more heavier, and that's fine with me. So when it's heavier, when you're going on like semi steep, long single tracks, it's gonna like go faster because it's, you know, it's weight, it's gravity. So that's one thing I can tell you about the bike. I mean, like, the bike is just so freaking fast. It's just insanely fast. So that's what I really like about the bike. I like the DVO suspension. I really like the DVO suspension. It's got a little bit of like an extra, like it's got a little bladder here, which I don't want to. I'm not too like knowledgeable in like explaining of like what that extra bladder does, but whatever it does, I mean, all you gotta do is pump it with air. I think it's got like a PSI. So main pressure is 100 to 300 PSI. The bladder pressure is 140 to 180 PSI. So you're adding pressure with your shock pump to both this canister, the big canister, and the little bladder. So for me, what that does to me, while I'm going really fast, I don't care what I'm hitting, I'm gonna hit it. Plus this coil fork, I don't care what I hit. I just go plow right through it, and it barely even affects me. It doesn't affect me. Plus it's got that rebound adjustment. The fork also has a rebound adjustment as well, and it's got a preload. So that's why I'm keeping this bike, and I love this. Oh my god, it's a pretty dangerous bike, if you know what I mean. The couple of things that I don't like about the ibis ripmo is that the stem for me is a little bit too long. So the stem for me, I'm gonna have to get a new stem later. I want a shorter stem, and I also don't like the fact that the stock handlebars are a little bit flat, a little bit flat. I like my stock handlebars to be have a bit of a rise, because when I'm sitting on the bike and I'm going fast, I don't want to be leaning too much over, you know. And if I'm going down a hill or a rocky hill, you know, or a steep hill, I don't want this bar to be a little bit flat. I want it to have a little bit more of a rise. With the short stem, I'm kind of like a little bit upright. That way it diminishes the chances of me going over the bar. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that I don't like about the bike. But other than that, and the dropper post. Look, I'm gonna press on the lever. Oh, it actually works. So the dropper post, when I first got the bike and I pressed on the lever, like, it didn't go up at first. Now it goes up, I guess because I've been playing with it before I made this video. But normally what you have, if you haven't played with it, if you haven't sat on it in a while, you kind of like have to really, it's like you're pumping the seat with your, you know, pelvis to get the bike to get the lever to work, right? Instead with the Stumpy, that's the one thing that you should know if you're ever gonna buy with the Stumpy, you don't even have to sit on the bike. It just oh, that's the gear. You don't even have to sit on the bike to pump it. See, there you go. The thing just goes up. The seat just goes up. So that's just one thing to be aware of. Other than that, the shifting can be a little bit clunky, but I think for me, it's a Shimano deore. So, but for me, at least what I can tell you is that it makes me use my brain a lot. It makes me strategize my shifting when I'm going on like a flat terrain, or if I'm gonna go up, you know, if I'm gonna start climbing, or if I'm even gonna descend. Like I start to really just strategize my shifting. And I know some of you don't. I don't want to have to be thinking about that, and I get it and I understand. But for me, you know, kind of, I don't know. I just like being a little bit detailed when I'm riding. That's all. And I know you guys, some of you guys are just like, screw it. I'm going down here. I'm going to send it. I don't care where I go. All I want to care about is having fun. And I get it. And I totally understand, which is why maybe some of you may want to, like, you know, dish out a couple of extra for or even $1,000 extra for a better drivetrain. And I get it. Maybe that'll be me in the future. I don't know. But for me, for the meantime, I'm cool with a Shimano deore. I'm just like, you know, with the Stumpy, it's got a SRAM NX, and that one can be a little clunky too. And it's almost the same thing, because like you're thinking about like, you know, strategizing your shifting with this bike too. So yeah, I mean the Stumpy is a great bike, but I think that the Ripmo, oh my lord, it totally made me think differently about mountain biking, especially going a little on steep hills and going down hills. It really made me reassess my stance, my hip stability, my knee stability, my ankle mobility, my core stability. Because this bike, it's so fast. You know, now in the future, like what I've seen on some other YouTube videos, of some people saying that on their ibis ripmos that their Maxxis acid guys, it's too high profile, so they might want to switch for a lower profiles. Like I think they were mentioning something like minions or dissectors. Maybe that's something I'll do, but I want to first get used to these tires first. Just make a mental note that I've already taken this bike maybe in a good six or seven rides, and oh man, like I had the time of my life with this bike, I'll tell you that. So what else can I say about the ibis ripmo? I don't know, it's just a great bike. Oh, the brakes these are what Shimano's. These are Shimano's, and these brakes, you have to, they work, and the bite is there, but it's just like you gotta squeeze. When you freaking squeeze, and it bites, and then you're like, you feel it. In comparison to these are guide brakes, and these guide brakes are just fine too, but they're not squishy, but they're very well, like, it's kind of like if you ever played a PlayStation 2 or 3 or 4, it's like the analog button. Like you press it lightly. If you're playing a racing game, you press the brake on the analog button lightly, and it'll brake. But if you press it hard, then it'll bite. But with this one, you squeeze, it bites. So you better hold on. Yeah. So that's pretty much what my review about this bike is. It's a great bike. I got it on sale from Jensen. I want to thank Jensen for that. They gave me this bike for $26.45. Can you believe that? With these specs, and this bike has better components than this bike on top of that, and I paid $3,000 for this bike when I first got it in I guess like during peak pandemic, which was like around March or February 2021. And yeah, well, I'm selling this bike for about 1,800 bucks, and I'm gonna keep this, and I'm gonna use the funds for this bike to get another bike. I'm thinking about either the Rocky Mountain Altitude or the Commensal Meta TRV4. If you have any questions, if you have any comments or anything you want to ask, just leave it in the comment section. And I'm going to be putting lots of videos, little shorts and little videos about me riding the bike. Ibis Ripmo AF deore 2022. It's an amazing bike, in my humble opinion. It's awesome. All right, have fun, guys. Take care.